Hi, this is Ed again, and on the my YouTube channel called Atheist, the Bird with No Cage. And what's the date today? No, the 1st of November.
November.
Wow. So yesterday was Halloween, and we had a full moon for Halloween. That was great. The moon was beautiful. So today, this is going to be a little bit a little bit wandering, like I always warn you about, but what I want to talk about is the very basis of this whole YouTube channel, the very basis of the idea, the fundamentals of what I'm discussing and disagreeing with. And from the beginning, what I've done is break that down into two parts. The two parts is answering the question, does God exist? And I'm typically responding to a huge part of the world that thinks that some God exists, or if they don't want to call it a God, like the Chinese, for instance, they don't talk about God so much, but they have spirits, ancient ancestor worship and that kind of thing. And so I guess from that angle, when I'm addressing the idea, does God exist, what I'm really addressing is the idea, does the supernatural exist? And my answer is a simple no, it doesn't exist. And I guess that depends on how somebody defines it, but I'm convinced. Okay, mustn't meander too far. So as I said, that's one part of the question, the existence of this God. The other part of the question is religion a good idea? And I particularly talk about the Christian religion, if we can be that general. I know saying Christian religion is being incredibly general because there's hundreds, thousands of Christian denominations. We only hear about some of the more obvious ones and some of the bigger ones, but I have contact with Jehovah's Witness. I have a good friend that's a Jehovah's Witness. Lots of contact with other people, some who identify themselves only as Christian, sometimes they use non-denominational Christian. Others that say, I'm a Baptist, I'm a Presbyterian, I'm a Pentecostal, whatever. So there's thousands of those. But anyway, once again, to get us back to the point, my two prongs of discussion, generally, that I'm interested in this YouTube channel is, does God exist? And I don't believe that it does. And then the other thing, especially from the perspective of looking at the Christian religion, is it a good idea to teach the teachings of the Bible? And I think that's a really bad idea. If we get our morals or our view of how the world works or anything from the Bible, that's a really bad place to get our is from. Now I guess I've been shotgunning a little bit lately on the first part of this thing. It seems to me that until we get to the point where we can agree on whether this deity, or any deity, actually exists. So we're talking about Yahweh or Jehovah or whatever in the Christian tradition. Does that actually exist, or is it an imaginary idea, like an imaginary friend that we've all had as children? Actually, I don't remember having imaginary friend as children, but it's pretty common. Okay. So is it true? So if we get to the point where we're going to explore it, even if we take it as a hypothetical, okay, and so you hear a lot of conversations that go like this, and I do it all the time. If God is true, if God actually exists, then we have this situation. So we can do that. But, excuse me, until we go through the process of deciding whether we agree that this deity actually exists or doesn't, the rest of it is total hypothetical, right? In fact, one of the arguments I make is that in the case of the Bible, the whole damn thing is hypothetical. It starts out, the very first words of the Christian Bible, I think, I was going to say the Christian Bible and the Catholic Bible, but I think Catholics they include themselves under the umbrella of Christianity, although some other Christians claim that, no, those Catholics they're not really Christians, or I don't know, there's something else, they're a cult or something like that. But anyway, both all of those religions that fall under that, Jehovah's Witnesses, Catholics, and Pentecostals, and Presbyterians, and Methodists, and whoever they are, all hold that the Bible is, depending on who you're talking to, the Bible is the Word of God or inspired by God or something, and that's where we learn what God is and what God wants, I suppose. Okay. To shotgun, yesterday we went for a car ride, and we went to a city north of here. It's a good hour's drive north of here, so I'm not sure how. It's probably 60, 70 miles north of here, called Lázaro Cárdenas. And we were driving, my wife Glenda and I were in the car with our two best friends in the world, probably, Anna and Stella. Anna's driving, and I'm co-pilot in the front seat. So we are going down the highway, we got talking, you know, and laughing about the idea. Here we go down the highway, and we're talking about we have to be careful on the highway to, you know, not have any accidents or stuff like that. And I pointed out to them that Anna and Stella, and we had another young man with us whose name I can't say right now. And they are all at some level believers or not, and Glenda and I are the non-believers, and we out and out call ourselves atheists. And I was pointing out to them that here they are in a car with two atheists, and aren't they afraid that God might get pissed off that they're associating with atheists and do something, you know, one of those divine things like send a bolt of lightning down to kill us, or use some other method to, I don't know, to show his anger that they're associating with atheists. And it's really interesting. I don't quite understand the girls, both of the girls' attitudes. They don't want to talk about it. By meaning they don't want to talk about their religious belief, what they believe, or what I believe or don't believe. I don't know, it's kind of like there seems to be a moratorium on that. And I'm not sure why, because I point out to them, well, neither of them are Bible readers. I've read the Bible. The Old Testament, I'll just come clean on that. The first 5 books, what are they? Genesis, can I say them? Probably not. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, and Numbers. There we are. The first 5 books are supposed to be the basis of the Bible, and particularly the Old Testament. That I've read all of it very carefully. And some other parts of the Old Bible, like the book of Job, which is, from my perspective, is a real joke. I've read all of that. But there's other parts of the Old Testament that I've kind of just skimmed over. The way I approached it when I was reading it was make sure I read all the parts that I hear Christians using, when they're talking about why they believe and what the Bible says about this and that. Anything that's our common stories, I've read for sure. And when it comes to the New Testament, I've read all of the New Testament, and several times, including, by the way, if I say read, several trips through the New Testament were audio. So I'm not actually always reading it, but I'm listening to the words, which I'm familiar. And I point out to my friends who are, I don't know how you describe them. They don't practice any religion. One of them was raised in a Jehovah's Witness family, and the other was raised as a Catholic, but neither one of them go to church on any regular basis. In fact, the last time either one of them was in a church of any kind was probably with me, when I coaxed them to take me to the Jehovah's Witness hall. That's a couple of years ago now, and I did. And I went back to the Jehovah's Witness hall. I think I've been in a sermon, or whatever you call it, a meeting, assembly, or however they refer to it. I think I've been in 4 or 5 of them now. Why was I going off on that track? I'm not sure. My point is, even though these 2 best friends, wonderful people, are religious, they call themselves religious, and that's good enough for me if they say they're religious, but I don't think either one of them would claim to be of any particular denomination, even though, like I said, one was raised a Jehovah's Witness and one was raised a Catholic. But one of the things that kills me is neither one of them want to talk about religion. I want to talk about it. I want to ask them the old Matt Dillahunty question from the Atheist Experience, which, by the way, I'm going to watch this afternoon later. Matt Dillahunty says, please tell me what you believe, and the important part is why you believe it. So he's looking for some kind of definition of or God or the supernatural stuff they believe in, and then asking them to explain why it is they believe. And I look at that as not as a challenge, as saying, why would you believe that nonsense? No, you believe it. Tell me why you believe it. And I would like to say, if you're convinced by it, I'd like to see if it convinces me that it's true. So one of the proposals in my monkey minding, I do a lot of what I talk about on the videos. A lot of this gets mulled around in my mind in what you often hear me referring to as monkey minding. That often happens to me when I go to bed at night and I typically can't sleep. My wife has this wonderful ability she goes to sleep, she reads for whatever amount of time, and then puts the book down, or sometimes the book falls on her chest and she's just out and she sleeps the whole night. I don't have that wonderful thing happening. My sleep is not nearly that regular. But anyway, in this monkey minding thing, and I went through this experiment with the first part of my question: does this deity or whatever we're talking about actually exist? And again, I'm referring to a Christian perspective, having read the Christian Bible and understanding the basic tenets that Christians follow and hold up. Okay, I am now going to prove to you, or attempt to prove to you, that God exists. I'm going to prove it. You may not believe it. Christians tell me they converse with God one way or another. They say, I talk with God. They all say I pray. Many times when I ask them what that means, they say they talk to God. My first question is, well, it's easy to talk to God. Hello, God, how are you? The big question is, does God speak back? As soon as you ask that question, you get a variety of... The ones I'll talk to, address, is those that say, yes. Okay. My next question is this something you hear, or it's like a voice in your head, like my monkey minding that I refer to? And again, you get, no, I can actually hear it. Can you record it? No, it's not like that. You can't record it. So it's actually a voice in their head, which I find less than impressive, let's say. So here's the conversation I'm having with God right now, the God that they claim exists. If it, he, she does exist, it certainly can hear me right now, knows what the hell's going on here, right? Knows what I'm going to say, what I'm going to talk about, and the whole thing. Okay, we had a little bit of a pause there, technical issues or something, but we decided that we want to wrap this up in a couple more minutes. So the whole point is, in the discussions, well, so far I've only talked about the one idea: does the God exist or doesn't he? And I'm going to thumbnail one of the things that I think I said at the beginning is I'm going to prove to you, or attempt to prove to you, that God exists. And my reaction to people saying, hey, I talk to God, and sometimes they say God talks to me, and that the God talking to me part gets iffy. Everybody can talk to God, but getting the God to talk back seems to be the problem. I'm burping. But here's the way I'd like to encourage God to be more obvious or something. Here it is in a nutshell. I got hair. I'm 80 years old. I got lots of hair. My father had lots of hair. I got the widow's peak sort of thing. But basically my hair's been like this since I was a teenager. What I would like to do, sincerely, talk to God and say, look, if you exist, this is true, I want to believe it. And if I come to believe it, I am going to tell the world, okay? I need a little bit of evidence. And here's an easy way that you can give it to me, God. You'll not only give me evidence, but you'll give me something that I can carry around with me and say, here's my proof. And that's this. God, I'm asking you to, and giving you permission, if you need that, whatever, I'm telling you, I'll be happy with it. I won't feel any anger. I won't be sad. I'm asking you to show your existence by making me bald, pelon, or take away all my hair, right now. Okay? Now, it doesn't seem to be happening so far, but I don't know. But look, God, here's my point. If you do it, I'm bald. I will go on TV shows, theist shows, atheist shows, anywhere, and I know there will be people that want me to go on their shows, maybe even famous shows like Oprah and whatever like that, because I have proof that God exists. I had hair, I asked God to make me bald, and God made me bald. Right? So that's it won't hurt me, I won't be upset, I won't suffer. Do it. You don't have to light me on fire if you want to do it that way too, but I prefer that you just make my hair disappear, or maybe it all just fall out around me. Any way you want to do it, then I will have proof, and I swear to you, I will minister, is that the word? I will tell the world of my evidence that God exists. Here I am bald, and you can look at my video when I had hair and God made it disappear. Okay? So that's all for this one. I wanted to get that out. I'm Ed, this is Atheist, a bird with no cage. The date is the 1st of November or the 30th of October?
1st November.
1st of November, okay. Yesterday was Halloween. So today is the Day of the Dead too, no? Mm-hmm. The second Day of the Dead? Mm-hmm. Okay. Hoy es para los niños o?
Mm-hmm. Sí, hoy es para los niños.
Okay. So here in Mexico, that's a big celebration. So November the 1st, 2020, and thank you for listening. I hope there's going to be some further discussion. Jose and I are talking about, we have another video channel or a YouTube channel that we want to specifically teach English to Spanish-speaking people. I like the idea of combining the two because I love talking about the religious thing anyway. And as long as we do it in English, I don't see why that's not a way for people to learn English. Okay, thanks. And thanks to Jose, and we will see you in the next one, and thank you.